So what's that movie on Netflix that came out? I think I talked about it on the show, and then you came back a week later and said, "Oh, I really liked it," and I was like, "No, that's so stupid." It's like,
Oh
do you remember what I'm talking about?
no. Wait, it
It's
was
the
just.
one. It's the one where the world ends, and it's about this
Oh
family.
yeah. Oh God, Leave the World Behind.
Yeah. Okay. So my mom texted me last night, and she
Mhm.
goes, "Oh, you have to watch this movie." And I was like, "Okay, first of all, if you're a true fan, you know I've watched it." And then she goes, "No, I really think this would be up your alley." And I was texting out this huge long reply, and I was like, "You know what? Forget this." And I called her and I screamed at her about how bad that movie was.
But I get what she's talking about, and I think, and we've talked about this on the show. It must be that manipulative second and third audio they have going, where and uh, movie makers talk about this, where they're saying it's tricks that directors use if like the script is not that good or the acting is not that good. They layer they induce your emotions with sounds and music, and I think that was what was going on with that movie. There was an underlying tone happening, hitting our subconscious and just making it like more dramatic or cooler than what it really was.
Yeah, very well could be. You know what's even funnier to me is she's going like, yeah, they're the first half. I expected aliens to show up, and I go, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was so frustrated about. Is it sets the whole thing up like it's going to be aliens, and it's just not.
Yeah,
It's just nothing.
yeah.
Um,
Hollywood does that a lot.
oh my god. Now I'm thinking about that movie, and I don't want to. So
I
instead,
wanted to. Yeah.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, because it's a different movie I was wanting to bring up.
Well, I was gonna say no. Actually, go ahead. Bring up the movie.
Okay, so all right, so what? It was the same thing that happened to me with the Matrix trilogy. So the Matrix 1 came out, and I think did it end with him killing the Sentinels in the real world? Right, he did that.
Let
Was that the
me.
end of, or was that the end of the second one?
I think
Anyway,
that was
when
in
he
the
did
second one. Yeah.
okay, when Neo did that in the real world, then I was like, oh yes, here we go. Now it's going to be the big Matrix, the Matrix of the real world. And of course, with me, that's either NHI, aliens, whatever it is, and they didn't go down that route.
No. No.
So I mean, yeah, they could always go deeper and go, into these much more elaborate and deeper narratives, and they just don't do it.
Well, they don't do it, but you know who does? Us.
Tell me. Yes, we do.
The Uncovering Anomalies podcast. That is, I want to believe Adam,
Hey,
and I
everyone.
am too far Topher.
Now, is it too far? What?
As in, I take things too far.
Okay.
Jokes, especially.
Well, we want to go too far, and that's exactly what you just let us into. And you're right. Since we don't get that from Hollywood and other places, we do it ourselves, and hopefully our listeners and viewers appreciate that about us. We might not do it every single episode. We try at least, right? This is not our day job, so as much time as we have doing this,
Yeah.
I think we imagine if we had seriously doing this full time. Could you imagine how deep we can go into things?
Dude, seriously, that's the dream. Like, my dream is for you and I to open up a recording studio, and all we do is sit there and research, UFO stuff, and then we've got the professional recording equipment and all that stuff.
Yep. I wonder how long before we get the Men in Black to come in and or
They
SWAT
shut
us
so quick. Yeah, we'd get shut down so quick.
Dude, I mean, it looks like it's heading that way anyway, this world, But last week was the AARO.
Mhm.
Oh, wait, this is episode 63, and today is March 17th, 2024.
Oh,
Unbelievably.
man, this year is flying by.
Isn't it? Yeah, it seems like every year is just flying by quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah, what's the deal with age? The older you get, time
Yeah,
just goes faster and faster. Because when you're a kid, I mean, God, I remember how long school lasted, how long
right?
summer vacation lasted, and now it's just like it just flies by.
I don't know what it is. It might be age, and it might be technology, or a combination of both.
Yeah, or they're
Because
brainwashing us.
or they're brainwashing us, or we'll talk about it too. There's something they might be messing up with our reality. People say that, like the Mandela effect and
Mhm.
other things that they're doing. But
Yes.
last week, of course, we're still going to deal with the repercussions of what AARO did last week, which is why we called our title "Government is Great." It was a joke, and hopefully you guys
Yeah,
got it.
hopefully people that, listen to the show saw that title and realized it was a joke.
Yeah, complete joke. We do not worship the state. If you follow this show, it's
Not even a
yeah.
little bit.
So the Washington Times asked, did a poll. Do you trust the Pentagon to tell the truth about UFO sightings? And 93% said no, which is great to see.
I mean, they've proven time and time again that all they do is lie.
Man, I know they take polls seriously, the government, or at least they pretend they do, and they always go to our politicians and say, "Well, the polls say this, so that's why you should pass this law or do this law," or you know,
Mhm.
I mean, at least that's what they say they do. Then they could be just lying to our politicians and make up polls. That's why they're so out of touch.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, if there's one thing I do know, it's that politicians do not care. Just FYI to our listeners, no matter who you support, Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever, that person does not care about you whatsoever.
No, and they might pretend to and try and write them, and you just get some canned response. And I got a canned response because I was really upset about AARO. I'm like, what? I need to do something. I'm frustrated, So I went to Daddy Sheehan's site and I did the whole auto thing where you put in your your address, and they do we do our own canned response. So I got a canned response from my representative, and I wrote back, but my own uh my own writing, and I just say how I was trying to rip the AARO report to shreds. I was like, they left this out and left that out, and blah blah blah. Nothing, zero from her.
Yeah, shocker.
I know, nothing. I mean, I was pretty passionate too, but I guess I turned out I looked like a anti-government right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, they're starting to call those domestic terrorists for some reason. So you
For
better
some
look out.
reason, yeah. Just like people warned back in the day that the Patriot Act would be used against Americans. They're like, oh no, it'll never. There's language in there that includes Al Qaeda. Oh, all right, we'll see. And then here we are today. They're using those exact same tools against the
Mhm.
domestic population. For what? For calling out the government for being liars and corrupt and not representing our needs, but representing the needs of an international clique.
Yeah, but that's racist or something. I don't know.
And un-American. Liberation Times also has a great article on arrows, but pretty dramatic title: Endgame. The
Oh, I
Pentagon,
love that movie.
yeah, the Pentagon establishes path to disaster following release of UFO report. So,
Nice AI generated photo there.
I know, right? Like it's on fire. I mean, that's the Air Force, right? That one?
No, I don't.
Uh,
Is
Or
that
is it, uh, I don't know. I guess AI must have put that in there, not knowing, or because
yeah? I
that's
don't,
the Pentagon, but I don't know what this is.
right. Yeah, I don't know.
So here's a good way to get started. He goes, and after a thorough review, the Central Intelligence Agency has found no verifiable evidence of any alleged illegal human experiments program undertaken by the agency.
And as we know, the CIA does absolutely nothing wrong, and they definitely don't lie to the public.
Yeah, so in an alternate universe where the CIA was asked to investigate itself following allegations relating to the MK Ultra program, history may have played out differently. He's right. I mean, it was an independent congressional hearing and an independent investigation that found out MK Ultra. And when it comes to UFOs, we're not allowed an independent investigation. We're having UFO congressional hearings. But yeah, I mean, so this is a good article. Definitely our listeners should go and read it. I mean, I don't want to go through the entire thing, but I think we might have covered a lot of this last week.
And just we might have even talked about this on the show, or maybe it's general knowledge at this point. But I just want to point out the Unabomber, who was captured in Montana, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, he was a subject of MK Ultra.
He was, yeah.
Just so everyone knows that
It's crazy.
essentially the US government created a terrorist, and who knows what the hell else they've done.
Yeah, and that's why you have these people that say, you know, a lot of these shooters are MK Ultra too. You know, they're always on like these drugs. They're always like, remember that guy from Colorado? Like when he was in especially in court, his eyes are like open like this. The whole Batman one, the Dark Knight guy.
Yeah,
One.
he shut up the theater in Aurora.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name. Of
They're
course,
always on MRIs or what it's called, or SSRIs.
SSRIs. Yeah.
And what's wrong with asking that question? You know what I mean? Like, don't look into that.
I know well, that's the thing. You're a domestic terrorist if you look at it, or anti-Semite, or you know.
Oh whatever. Yeah. Anti-Semite, homophobe. Yeah.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah. What's the other one? Transphobe.
Yeah.
All of them.
Go ahead and you know, eat what the government gives you. That's it.
Well, at least our Congress is not falling for the report.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So they have written. Speaker Johnson and Democratic leader Jeffries about starting a committee, a House committee, a UAP House committee.
Hell yeah.
Now, if they get this, that means they have subpoena power, and they can have congressional hearings. They can bring in people. They can ask the defense contractors questions if they don't believe them. Oh wait, they'll be under oath first of all, right? Which AARO did not do.
Right.
It'll have subpoena power, which AARO does not have. So, you know, I think this would be a great thing for us. They don't even mention the AARO report here. It's just talking about the hearings that they had before with Grusch and.
Is there anything worth mentioning in the AARO report at this point?
I mean, what's worth mentioning is what they omitted, and and how bad it is, just so people can know like what our government is, because this is, you know, people. At least what I've noticed online, and especially in the truth community and the conspiracy community, they're really against aliens and UFOs because they think that it's a government psyop. But where, please, someone tell me, where is it a government psyop? Where, who in the DoD is telling us that UFOs are real? You know, real UFO people. Who? There isn't. You know, just because you have this faction out there does not mean the government is telling us. They're not.
It's once again, you know, I of course can't remember the name of the reports, but the 9/11 report, the JFK assassination report. I mean, it's just we're seeing this over and over and over again. Our government does nothing but lie to us.
Yeah,
always.
Always. And just to go back to the JFK report, Judge Napolitano, he's got a great YouTube channel. He came out again because he's friends with Donald Trump, and he retold the story where he called. Trump used to call me and said like once a week, just to steam, left some steam. And he goes, well, okay. Goes, Trump, are you going to release the JFK files like you promised? He goes, Judge, if you see what they showed me, you'd never release it. And he's seeing it, and he's talking to his guests. He's like, what is in there that he won't release the files? You know what I mean?
So actually, I know the truth. It turns out there's a 4-foot tall gray alien, and weirdly enough, he's dressed like a skater. He even has a skateboard with him, and he's smoking a joint. And he's the one that shot the president. They've got footage of him on top of the library building with a big
on a skateboard,
big laser. I know, it's weird. And then he. What's crazy is he skated off the roof of the building and did like a 360 kickflip. I don't know skating terms.
Man, that must have been so quick. Like the camera probably didn't catch it.
Yeah. So that's actually what happened. You know, and obviously that would cause a huge uproar if people knew.
Of course, yes. I'm sure it's not a political ally or anything like that was maybe involved. You know, that did that.
No.
That Trump loves. Yeah.
Definitely not some country overseas that's committing genocide right now.
Right? Yeah, no, it's not that. Don't look into a new one. Don't look.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. Just feed what you're fed.
So you'll like this.
Eat what you're fed.
Eat what you're fed. Yes. Well, at least half the population here likes to eat what they're fed.
Yeah. So
well, despite the AARO report, this is from Merrick VR on Twitter. X, the Senate appears poised to proceed with Schumer's UAP Disclosure Act, so in the new NDAA. So they're not done. It was gutted right last year or this year, or no, last year it was gutted. So they're going to try again, and there's probably going to be even harsher language in here because of what happened with AARO and when they gutted it. And House members briefed by ICIG are requesting a select UAP. Yeah, we know that. A member of the UAP caucus intends to hire Grusch and restore his clearance.
Hell fucking yes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and restore his clearance. I mean, now it's going to be up to the DOD to, approve that, but it's going to make them look stupid and, weird if they don't.
You know what I'm actually really freaked out by? Say this passes, and then, 2-3 years down the road, Grusch comes out looking like Kirkpatrick, sitting in front of Congress or whatever, and saying like, "Oh yeah, there's no aliens or UFOs or whatever."
Oh, please don't say that. Oh my
Sorry,
God.
I don't want to put that out into the universe. I'm just saying that's like a big fear of mine.
Oh man, yeah, and I can foresee it happening too. Like they get to him, but does he have a price though? That guy. I mean, some people just don't have price. Like someone like him, and he says he's autistic. Someone or on the spectrum somehow. Someone like him can't get bought out. You know what I mean? He's married.
Sure hope so, or I hope not. I hope he can't get bought out.
I mean, yeah, you never know though, right?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's one of those things. We were just talking about the JFK stuff. I mean, you can always find a way to get to somebody.
Yeah, you can. Well, look, there's blackmail, and there's bribery, and then there's just they'll kill you or something,
Yeah,
or threaten you with death.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not new. Oh wait, it's really long. All right, maybe we shouldn't. But I mean, it's from Shellenberger last year when Grusch came out, and Michael Shellenberger, the journalist, and he quotes because he had over 40 witnesses to come to him, and he verified everything, and he wouldn't write this report because he's like a real investigative journalist, and he ends it with the trouble with secrecy, and he points out like why it's such a bad thing to keep this subject secret, and I don't know if you want to read this.
This is way too long.
Or we can stop here though. Wait, so it's not that long then. It's just like
if you give me a quote, I'll be happy to read it.
Maybe just these two right here. Is it blown up enough?
Yeah.
Can you see it?
All of the individuals pointed to secrecy as an obstacle to reverse engineering the craft. One military contractor said that in December 2010, a major aerospace corporation tried to work around the secrecy by creating a buffer organization to prevent scientists and engineers who lacked top secret clearance from learning where the tech they worked on came from. But the military sharply rejected the proposal.
Of course.
The proposal, the person said, was that we could apply, this is a quote, we could apply science and engineering talent because the aerospace corporation security meant they were not having as much success as that had been hoped for. And so we were proposing to horizontally cut through sorry, I lost my place. Horizontally cut through the stovepipes, which compartmentalize work to keep it secret. So there would be very few people interfacing with the aerospace company, and the science and engineering talent would need to know about the full nature of the tech.
One more. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta read more. Oh,
okay.
No.
well, it's bigger for me. I think for you, it's smaller.
Yeah, you take this one.
All right. So the contractor said the U.S. government agency rejected the idea, of course. The Aerospace Corporation, he's not quoting them here, vice
Boeing.
president, took it back to his customer, a government agency I won't name, and they refused. It was a very strong refusal. There was no chance of this ever happening. The main concern was that there would be a potential for a leak, but it seemed like it was a very flat no with not a lot of reasons given. So, I mean, there it is. Like, they just never want a leak ever. And if it is, it's just destroyed or that person is killed or like, it's so insane, this subject.
Hell, I don't know if we're bringing this up on the show today, but have you seen the Boeing stuff that's coming out?
Yeah, we are bringing it up. Yeah, yes,
Okay,
that's so nuts. Yeah, we are.
Yep.
And I mean, and no, and we can talk about it here. We can go right there. I mean, this is not a joke. This is happening, and they've been talking about this in UAP land, right? About
Yeah,
reprisals and people being killed, and this is just it. Just these Boeing is a military contractor, and this is not even to do with UAPs.
yeah. Boeing whistleblower found dead in U.S. Boeing has had many planes over the last what's it been 6 months, a year
Oh
that
yeah,
they
yeah,
keep having. They're proven to be unsafe. They're
very.
in mid-flight and have to do an emergency landing. I mean, it happens over and over again. This guy comes out and said, he's concerned about the production standards, and
Mhm.
then what do you know? He shows up dead in his apartment or house or whatever the hell.
In his car, he
Was
was
it in his
getting.
car?
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. So
He
where is
worked
it?
for Boeing for 32 years and then retired in 2017. In the days before his death, he'd been giving evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. I mean, and then,
Yeah,
okay,
wait,
it,
right
it's
here.
it
Uh,
said the 62-year-old had
yeah.
died from a quote unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound on the 9th of March, and police were investigating, and they're not going to find anything because, of course, they're not.
No,
Uh,
no, they're not. And he started in 2019. So I guess 5 years ago is when he started. Telling
Started whistleblowing, you mean?
yeah, yeah, whistleblowing because under pressure, he whistleblew that under pressure workers had been deliberately fitting substandard parts to aircraft on the production line. These are planes, man.
Yeah, I know. Just unreal.
Hundreds of people are on
Unreal.
these things, and they go back and forth and thousands of tens of thousands of miles a day, and like, why would they risk this for what? Like, how much more money are they making? I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, I have no answers. It's just you have to appease the shareholders, and it's the bottom line. And any way to appease your or improve your stock,
Hmm.
appease the stock market. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting. And
And that's what I don't understand either. Like this whole like perpetual profit. Why can't a company just be profitable? Why does it have to perpetually have more
right.
profit? Why, you know what I mean? I
Well,
oh
what
well, yeah,
what disgusts me more is that they kill these people. I mean, he
yeah.
was killed, and then we're supposed to sit here and pretend, oh, it was a suicide, so sad, yada yada yada. We just let them get away with it. That's what disgusts me the most.
Yeah, look at this.
Is that these large news corporations are a-okay printing this story that he committed suicide when everyone knows he didn't.
Everyone knows. Everyone. I mean, at this point, I mean, everyone's a conspiracy theorist now that I see. Like before, it's like, you're crazy. I don't, I don't get that anymore when I tell people this. Like they actually say it back to me or before I even say it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that guy that didn't kill himself.
Yeah. Epstein is a great example.
Oh
Everyone knew
yeah.
he didn't kill himself,
Right.
even
They
before that story broke.
I mean, how long are they just going to overplay their hand? So, at the time of his death, Mr. Barnett had been in Charleston for legal interviews linked to that case. Last week, he gave a formal deposition in which he was questioned by Boeing's lawyers before being cross examined by his own counsel. He had been due to undergo further questioning on Saturday. When he did not appear, inquiries were made at his hotel. He was subsequently found dead in his truck in the hotel car park.
It's so fucking blatant. It's just it makes me so mad. I mean, they keep getting away with this shit. No one's going to prison for this.
No. And
No
he
one's
was there.
no one's
He
getting in
he was
trouble for this.
Yeah, he wasn't at home. He wasn't in his home state. He was in another state doing these interviews, whistleblowing and telling the people he would have saved and he probably already saved lives, just to be honest. Before this happened, I was like, I'm not taking Boeing ever again. I'm sorry. Especially on long haul flights. I can't. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I'm not. Yeah. I mean, it's enough thing. I've seen enough things like with like on the runway, like the collapsing, a tire falling off when it takes off, the door is just like blasting open. I mean, yeah, no, thank you, man. And their shareholders gonna be really happy now, aren't they?
Yeah, because I guess that's who matters, not like the person that paid for the flight that's in the air that wants to just get to their destination safely What
And they're
matters.
probably going to end up in bankruptcy, Boeing, right? I mean, if no one's
No,
going to take,
I know I'm pessimistic, but no, I think they're going to be just fine, and this shit is going to just keep happening.
yeah, well, I hope they get bankrupt, because
Yeah,
if
me
people are
too.
worried about this, they might be not taking anymore. Maybe some airlines won't buy Boeing, and now that's bad for us because I obviously want an American company to be making these planes, not because now Airbus in Europe is going to take that over.
Yeah, well, and then that means flights are more expensive because there's
Yeah,
less planes, stuff like that.
right. Uh, this was a theory that I sent you from Patrick Jackson on X. He goes, now the UAP subject is appropriately linked to paranormal phenomenon. It's conceivable that individuals in positions of authority within intelligence, defense industries, and even certain governmental circles may experience encounters with paranormal or poltergeist phenomenon within the confines of their homes. These incidents seem to serve as reminders of the true wielders of power, striking fear into them, thus explaining the official wall of silence. For instance, below, the Type 3 sphere can manifest as a black mass effect as depicted.
Okay, so this is it's not really something I believe, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot actually, is that UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot,
Hmm.
every paranormal thing you see, it's all connected. It's all just um I don't even know how to describe it. My thoughts on it. It's like,
Woo, it's woo.
yeah, it's the wooey wooey stuff. But
Yeah.
like, imagine if like another universe was sticking its finger into
Uh,
ours. Like
yeah.
it's not doing the full thing. It's just kind of like poking a little finger in there to see what's there. And that's when you see that finger, you see a UFO, you see a ghost, you see Bigfoot.
Hmm.
Um, that's
It's a
kind of,
shadow.
or the shadow, yeah. But it's all the same thing. It's just it's so complicated because, like I said, we're half the phenomena. So
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
brain comes up with the image in front of you that you're seeing.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if I really believe that, but it's just a thought it's kind of been running around in my head for the last couple years.
Yeah, and no, there's a lot of truth to that. That we're half the phenomenon because it has to do with consciousness, and we're what I want to say, like we're intelligent, conscious beings in this third dimension, and probably or at least the apex on this planet, or at least in our sense, we are. So if something's trying to enter our reality, that's kind of different. It still needs us. You know what
Yeah,
I
it needs
mean?
like an anchor. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. It's a very um hard concept to wrap your head around.
It is because it's such this universe is. I mean, at least our role in it's very small, and what we see is very small. That's why we use all these tools, right? Our infrared tools, our ultraviolet tools, our X-ray tools, are so we can see beyond what we're allowed or we're able to see, and but we don't have any. I think spiritually also we don't have any tools for that though. I mean, except us.
But yeah, but I mean that goes back to like the shamans of ancient civilizations and stuff. Like I feel like they had some sort of connection to whatever all of this is, and and that's why they were shamans. And
Hmm.
like I think originally that's what priests, were in any religion.
Yeah, and there was a closer relationship with nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you bring up shamans. Yeah, they used to watch like animals. Like when animals used to get sick, they used to see what they used to go eat, and then they used to learn from that, and then that would be the medicine herb that we would use, and they would thank the animal and thank nature for that. So it was a more closely uh, knit relationship that we had that now
Yeah,
we're not part of anymore.
right.
Dolan also took a crack at the Arrow report. It's
Oh
amazing. The
boy.
entire thing is amazing. But I just want us to just listen just to the intro.
Sure.
But I mean, he just kills it. It's just. I mean, I don't know why Congress doesn't invite him to just come and present. I mean,
Oh,
because
I've got a good theory as to why.
yeah, yeah, I'm sure because he'll- the entire country would believe him. That's why too.
Yeah,
All right, so I think it starts here, and then I'll play just a little bit of what evidence he does. We
sure.
won't do too long here, but I really like his reasoning. around why they just keep doing this and what's at stake here.
Delusional point in its history than it is currently. Just a question for you to think about as we go through the material here today. In the first place, I'll just say we have never had honesty from this establishment regarding UFOs or UAP, not since we've collectively started becoming aware of the phenomenon itself. That's a history of more than 80 years. This establishment, let's call it the national security state, has not been honest about very much over the years. We can now see with a lot of historical perspective that although prior generations might have held a little bit more faith and trust in the truth value of what that institution kept telling it, through Vietnam, for instance, or about the Kennedy assassination even, or about more recent debacles like the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, or the destruction of the nation of Libya about a decade ago, or the ongoing attempts to take down Syria, which continue to this day, or the clearly incompetent assessments of relative strength among combatants in Eastern Europe, specifically Russia. What we see is a national security apparatus that A, lies seemingly all the time, and more recently, B, can't get its act together. The U.S.-led entire Western establishment certainly has never looked so out of touch, so incompetent, so reckless, so dangerous as it currently does. And that's not even getting to UFOs. But the UFO or the UAP problem has always been a tough one for them. Honesty has never been an option for them, at least in their opinion. Never been an option, never possible. That's also worth pondering. The whole concept of UFO or UAP disclosure has been on my mind for a long time, many years now. A long time ago, I speculated that we, the people, are in a kind of foot race with the establishment on this whole matter of disclosure. In other words, whoever gets to the finish line first wins. As I put it many years ago, if we get there first, that means that we achieve a real breakthrough in obtaining valuable, actionable information on this subject before the global clampdown of information is complete. That's the race.
Yes, right. Because because that's what they're trying to do. They're really trying to just lock down this planet. AI. They're gonna get rid of search engines, and we're already seeing like censorship online. It's just going to be AI answering, your questions that you have. They're blanketing the skies with 5G. They're going to put brain chips in our heads. So they're making an environment that's going to be impossible for us to question anything. Not just the UFO.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and you're right. He absolutely killed it. But yeah, I mean, just boy, hopefully our listeners are old enough to remember like what Google used to be like, and now what you get back when you search something. It's so curated and artificial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's all NBC, CBS, PBS, AP.
And the thing, yeah, I know, right? But you even now you Google something and it says first page of 10 million results or whatever, but then you go back to you get to like the third page and there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. So scary. It's great. It's great. We have the archive, the Internet Archive, right?
Yeah,
but not everyone goes there.
Right. Well, yeah, I know.
But then that's going to be, who knows, that might be gone too. But AI is not going to use the Internet Archive. It's going to use CBS and NBC and the DoD and anything that's .gov or .mil.
Right.
And I mean, we're entering into, if seriously, like the window is closing. Now, many people are not as pessimist as Dolan or like we are, about this. They think that, we have the tools now at a click of a button.
Because they're dumb.
You can find anything like newspaper.com and archive.org, but those, not everyone is a researcher like you. Not everyone is going to go out to.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, most people aren't going to like dig in and find different sources of information. They're just going to take whatever's the top of Google and use that as their source.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people.
Yeah, and that's why, in SEO and digital marketing, you want to be in the top 3. The top 1 result, I think, gets like 60% of the clicks. Even if you're the 3rd one, you only get like 10% of the clicks. Could you imagine like the difference? So that top 1 is so important, and it's always going to be something that Google says, "All right, this one works with the establishment," and
And of course, they're the ones that get to decide, what's the right source that we want to
yeah.
have at top.
It happened with COVID, that wasn't too long ago, and that's when it really started coming out about Google, how they was just censoring things live.
Yeah, it was scary stuff. I mean, you had actual scientists come out and they're talking about, it was a lab leak, and then later on, the vaccinations really don't do anything, and then all of them were called, excuse me, were called horrible names, and then they
Mhm.
kept being proven right and right and right. You know,
And now they're right. Yeah, now they're the ones who were right.
yeah.
Something you sent me, 2 things from Reddit you sent me were gone. So the conspiracy theories were right. I forgot what was in there, but that one was taken out. What was the
Of
other one?
course, man,
What was the other one? Man, Reddit just takes down things all the time.
dude.
Another one was
They take things down all the time. It's so frustrating. I got to start screenshotting instead.
Yeah, and if there's an
Instead of reading.
article, maybe just send me that article then instead
Yeah,
of the post. It's crazy, and it's the /r conspiracy one that's taking stuff down. I mean, since when did they do that? Who's in charge of that subreddit?
can you imagine being an internet moderator? What a loser you have to be to agree to do something like that. And then also, once again, it's a person that goes, "Oh, this is right, this is wrong," and they get to delete, delete, delete.
This is right. This is wrong. Yeah, don't leave it up to the people. I think it was said like keeping our readers safe. Come on, man. This
Man,
commie stuff is killing me. It really is,
yeah,
and it's worrying me. We have I mean, to our listeners, I'm sure we have a huge spectrum, right? I mean, I don't like communism and socialism doesn't work. I know it looks great on paper. It looks great on
it
paper. I,
never.
I, I admit that.
How
It's
many times has a country adopted that just for it to fail? I mean, how many times do we have to
every single
every
time.
single time?
Even Russia had to leave it behind. They're not the Soviet Union anymore. Like, but how come we're becoming the Soviet Union? You know what I mean? It's
So we
just
can collapse. I'd love to see a 50 state separatation. Also, speaking of wide
Uh,
spectrums, we've got a wide spectrum of listeners. If you're a very attractive lady, come see me.
yeah, you can hit him up on Twitter. It's Topher et al. At Topher et al.
Yeah, just
Come and see me.
you know, just slide into my DMs. Let's see how it
Oh
goes.
man. Well, he goes through a lot of evidence here, which is
Yeah,
great.
let's get into it.
Well, I like the Helen Carter quote. Just I like repeating it too. I think he likes repeating it. If it's from the '60s, he was head of the CIA.
So it's, excuse me, a very important statement indeed. I have one other individual I just want to bring to your attention. This is the first director of the CIA. This is a Navy Vice Admiral Roscoe Hillenkotter. UFO students know this name very well. Hillenkotter directed the CIA for 3 years, from 1947 to 1950, and was a friend, a good friend actually, of Major Donald Keyhoe, who was one of the key early UFO investigators of the 50s and 60s. Keyhoe and Hillenkotter actually went to Annapolis together. They were classmates, so they knew each other going way, way back. Keyhoe made a good name for himself doing a lot of other things, even prior to the whole UFO subject. Keyhoe had actually flown with aviation legend Charles Lindbergh, so he'd made a name for himself.
What? I
But
didn't
he and
know.
Hillenkotter were friends, and Hillenkotter joined the board of the organization NICAP in the late 1950s. And by the way, I think it's a rather interesting historical fact that the very first director of the CIA was a member of NICAP.
Yeah.
Where are the academic historians in the universities who are even interested in bringing this matter up and studying this? They're not around. They don't discuss this at all. But in any case, Hillenkotter made a number of very interesting statements relating to UFOs, and I just want to bring these to your attention. I've got several. These are 2 that he made with NICAP as a board member in the late 1950s. He said, it is imperative that we learn where the UFOs come from and what their purpose is. Imperative. That does not sound like someone who believes that these objects are misidentifications of natural or conventional phenomena. That is for darn sure. And secondly, he says here, I know that neither Russia nor this country, the US, had anything even approaching such high speeds and maneuvers. He's talking about Foo Fighters during World War II and immediately after the Second World War. Neither Russia nor the US have anything approaching what these things can do.
Yeah, Sean Kirkpatrick.
Well, it should be noted, hopefully, if you're listening and paying attention, you understand the seriousness of what I'm saying. But this guy was not some UFO like nut job.
No.
I mean, director of the CIA.
Yeah, the first director of the CIA.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
he clearly thought it was an issue.
Yeah, and he said it was not Russia, okay, or nor this country. And back then in the 40s and 50s, there weren't any other advanced countries really.
It's not like Thailand's flying UFOs around. No offense to Thailand.
Right, and he goes through other stuff. We're not going to go through here, but he really just goes through the report because the report was really terrible. Like it went through the metamaterial stuff too, and said that, oh yeah, we can recreate it here. We just did it in our lab, But they don't answer the question like, why was it made like that? What do we? Okay, fine, yeah, maybe now in 2024 we could probably make something similar, but this was found in like the 80s or something like that. Or no, I think that whatever it was in the 60s. And it was supposed to be part of a craft, and he goes through hell put off. Anyway, definitely watch it. I wanted to also share this, although he speaks French, so I don't want to read but he's a Belgian astrophysicist, Belgian professor Emeritus Auguste Meissin, and late German astrophysicist Hildebrand von Ludwiger on the danger of UFO secrecy to democracy.
Well, thank God you read that name because I had no chance at it. Demetrius Auguste Meissin? I don't know.
And then Hildebrand von Ludwiger.
Oh boy.
I muted it because he's speaking French, but he basically goes, it's no longer just about UFOs. It's about the fact that the centers of power are manipulating the people like puppets. Oh, sorry. But just to give context here, this is after the Belgian UFO flap. Remember the triangles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's when this came out. All right, so they're being disinformed. So you could say lied to. This is what he's saying. And then it's really a huge danger because the basic principle of a democracy is that the people, masses of people who think independently of one another, check whether or not power is exercised correctly. That is essentially the best principle if it works. I mean, he's right, and that's why.
No, he's dead on.
And that, I mean, we can't say we're in a democracy if all these things are hidden from us. Fine.
Right.
I believe in like national security. Of course I do, in our weapons, but come on, this subject, when it comes down to it. Yeah.
What it comes down to is like, let the people decide. That's the whole point of freedom, democracy.
Yeah.
Right. all of these things. And we're not even given the opportunity to decide. We're just being lied to because the people in charge think they're smarter than us, and so they get to make the decisions.
I mean, we made the decision a long time ago as a country to give that power away for national defense to the government, which is fine, right? But when it comes to our place in the universe, our reality, right, that brought us here anyway, how do we even get to the Constitution of the United States and all that? We evolved as a species. Consciously, we evolved. You can see it throughout time, how we evolved and then the creation of this country, and then, and then the 20th century. But then when you negate something like this, that there's other intelligence out there, whether they're out there or whether they're here, whatever it is, interacting with humanity, and you negate that, it hinders our evolution, our conscious evolution.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's a complete crime against humanity. That is not a national security. unless it's a threat to the ruling class, somehow.
Right.
I mean, they might be getting their. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, after all that, right? After all that's over, the whole report. What does AARO go do? So
Pentagon
yeah.
UFO office developing quote unquote gremlin sensors to help identify anomalies in orbit.
So
gremlin.
And if there's gremlin, and if there's nothing to it, and it's all a lie, and it's all misidentification, so what are they going to do? They're putting up sensors in there to prove more misidentification, right? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I just. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're really starting to understand what's in orbit around our planet and how we can eliminate those as anomalous objects.
All right. So wait. So what are they saying, that it might be trash or space junk now, and that's why they're starting to understand what's in orbit?
Yeah, but anything you see in the night sky with lights and it spins and it's really weird, that's you're not even seeing that. That's not real.
Yeah, or something landing or dropping something or picking up a cow or or zips off, or right, that kind of stuff. Yeah. That for sure will never be in that report. They'll keep it to themselves, so they know. So all this shows me
again.
Yeah, all this shows me is that they went and they got the truth, and they know now it's real. AARO knows now this is real, and now they're trying to really find out. So now they're doing it more secretly, but now being funded. It's not secretly funded anymore. They're really being funded by the government, and they're still going to keep it secret and still gaslight us.
You know what I think this is actually, and this kind of makes me happy. Is I think whatever the phenomena is real, and they're panicking. Too many people have come forward. Too many experts have come forward, and they're starting to panic. And so they're putting, they're doing something like this to say, oh, now we can say what's real and what's fake.
Right. We have the data.
Yeah. I just think they're panicking.
Wide range of phenomena, including in space. It's picking up a lot of bats and birds. We're learning a lot of solar flaring. So that's the context that we're really starting to understand. Bats and birds.
The ones that glow.
Yeah, the ones that just zip off and stop. Those ones.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a bird that flies outside my window every night that glows, and it stops and it speeds up and it spins around and every other thing. The AARO director said that these gremlin system sensors could be used to surveil sensitive sites for airspace intrusions, or even keep an eye on the U.S. satellites in orbit.
Airspace intrusions. Oh, all of a sudden he's saying it's just
birds.
Oh yes. Yeah, birds are spot. Oh yeah, so it's like Lord of the Rings. You know how they use like birds to spy. You know how Sauron used. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Saruman used the birds. Yeah, that's what they are. There.
I don't think Saruman. Yeah, we don't have to get into it. I don't think Saruman used the birds.
He did. Was it Sauron? Oh, okay. So maybe it was Sauron then.
But they weren't birds. They were
the crows.
Is that what he did?
No.
Shit,
yeah.
Maybe you're right.
Remember when they first set out on their journey, they were because I rewatched it because I have to waste time now for so I watched the extended version for 4 hours yesterday.
Oh hell yeah, those are great.
So I'm not sure if it's Sauron or they're amazing. Like there's so much new material in there.
Sauron is the big eye on the tower. Right. Yes. Saruman is the white wizard.
Exactly. Yeah. So they were hiding out. And then they saw it's just cloud over there. And all
yeah. It was Saruman. You're right. You're totally right.
Okay. And that's in the main movie, right? It's not like a extended.
No, that isn't the main movie.
All right. Yeah. So what are people sending like birds? I mean, it's not crazy. It's like now countries can make bird-like drones.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's China.
So yeah, and my argument always goes back to, all right, so was China doing this in the 30s and 40s?
Definitely 100%. There's no other explanation. Oh wait, no, there's another explanation. Balloons.
Yeah, we forgot about balloons all the way down.
It is balloons all the way down.
This might be balloons, I guess. Is that why that came up?
Yeah, maybe. No, this is really good footage.
It is really good footage. I saw something else. I couldn't find it. And did these take off afterwards? Here, let's watch. And I like these with real audio because it
Yeah,
adds to
no,
the
play the
authenticity,
audio.
right? And just to tell our listeners, it's cold. It looks cold and cloudy and windy, right?
Mhm.
So people that say, "Oh, these are kites or balloons," they'd move much quicker than that or more erratic.
Taking a video of it. Right? Ooh, there's another one in front of it.
Where?
4.
There's 4?
Yeah. Do you see the one right ahead of it? It's like rotating. Isn't that neat?
Come over here. That's me. I volunteer.
Whoa.
So this reminds me a lot of footage I found years ago, and I tried finding it for the show. It actually takes place over Las Vegas, and it's the same kind of thing where there's 3 lights in a triangle formation, and they're just rotating in a very weird way. And I mean, I have no explanation for this or for that video.
Weird.
It's very weird, but I mean, I think that just goes with the whole UFO phenomenon. They don't. I don't think they think of the ground as the ground and the sky as the sky. They move however they need to move.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
there's
no
a
up.
researcher out there. He
There's no up. There's no down. You just move how you need to move.
Yeah, is a God. I forget his name now. He has a great book. He identifies these, and he thinks that they are innate, that they're part of some land management system. If that makes sense, or they protect the earth, or they're always. And that's why they were seeing Foo Fighters. Anything new up in the sky, it'll go and detect it, and just assess it. But they're always in threes, and they always make triangles. And he thinks that they protect the earth in some sense, and he's documented this. He's a scientist too.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the video I'm talking about the one in Las Vegas, it was the same thing. Triangle that seemed to be rotating weirdly.
And it was orbs, right? Orbs that made the triangle, you mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So
bizarre.
Where's this video? How come it's not showing up? All right, so black military helicopter disabled my iPhone's camera on Texas-Mexico border.
Yeah, I sent this one to you. This is pretty bizarre.
How come there's no video anymore? Wait,
God damn it, Reddit.
Wait. Let me refresh this. Because he documented
anyway, this guy is on his boat, and he's filming this helicopter that's flying somewhat near him, and he his phone just goes haywire. There it is.
He can't take. I guess he was trying to take photos of it or video, and he just can't.
Yeah, so bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, the FCC does. If you look at the back of your phone or anything,
I mean, this goes again into my hate of government. So let's say this has nothing to do with UFOs or aliens or whatever. Let's say this is just a black helicopter, government issued, whatever. First of all, why do we have a black helicopter with no markings on it?
Right.
Sketchy as hell. And then why is it able to disable phone cameras?
Yeah, an American citizen, and in his own right in a public space,
and he's not breaking any laws. He's just out there on his boat. So why are they able and allowed to do this?
Tyrants, man, tyrants,
absolute tyrants. I mean, this is what fascism is. Everyone talks about, if you don't like a certain group of people, that sounds terrible. I'm just saying the word fascism is thrown around a lot.
And the people, the proponents of government, or always think government as the government, of course, has great people in it. It's huge, okay, But I'm talking about the upper brass and the policies, and here we go. You can see what comes out is just it's fascist. They are the fascists. So
yeah, exactly.
The ones who are against the government are not the fascists. They're trying to free us like we were free. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. so frustrating. All right. So what you got here?
This wasn't that clear, but this came up on March 9th. Witnesses report potential UFO sighting over the skies of Rock Springs. This is in Wyoming.
Mm.
There's a video, but it doesn't look clear at all. So, but let's see what they say. It's Fox News. Wait, no, sorry, News Now. Wyoming News Now.tv.
In Rock Springs, a UFO sighting. So what's the big deal this time? Our reporter Quim White joins us live.
Oh no.
Over the weekend, Rock Springs City Attorney and longtime UFO investigator Richard Beckwith spotted something strange in the Wyoming sky, unlike anything else he has seen in his career, and he captured the event on camera.
I've never seen a UFO until I made this recording.
Late Saturday night, Beckwith received a call from a friend who lives near Green River.
Okay, actually, hold on, really quick. Do you know, like at Skinwalker Ranch, like how they reported seeing burning haystacks in the sky?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't this remind you of that?
Yes, it does. So wait, this is in Wyoming. I mean, it's not. Is this in the sky or is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, how come they didn't say? But yeah, it does remind me of it a lot.
Southwest of Rock Springs. He grabbed his camera and tripod, and what he witnessed once he got there came as a shock. He watched the object pulsate, moving rapidly side to side. Beckwith isn't trying to prove the object was an alien spacecraft. He's simply trying to find an explanation. He has received a few potential leads on social media, but hasn't yet found any evidence to what it could be. Now it's time for Beckwith to dive into his investigation. He has requested radar records from the FAA and connected with witnesses. Gathering this information will help him find a reasonable explanation, or it will help him determine if it truly is an unidentified flying object.
Using the location of the two different groups of witnesses, including myself, and the angle and the distance from those two and the angles between them and the object, using trigonometry, I should pretty easily be able to determine the location and perhaps even get a good estimate of the size of the object. Right now, as to what it is and what it was, I have no idea.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, investigate. You know, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Very strange, though. I mean, Wyoming, as we know, is just empty space. I've driven through there when I used to live in Montana, and I used to drive through Wyoming, completely empty. Like, seriously.
They've got Yellowstone Park.
Oh yeah.
Part of it, I think.
Oh, so it could be some geological thing then going on.
I guess, but that is very, very strange footage. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, so this is from Think Tank on Twitter. So speaking of Google deleting things, here's a 4-kilometer wide object making tracks along the ocean floor. It's been blurred out now. 4 kilometers. Look at it making tracks.
Yeah, that's scary. Well, I mean, the biggest. Okay, so I can see an argument for, okay, this is just a big rock sliding across the floor. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Use that logic. Why blur it out?
I know. To protect you. To keep you safe. That's why.
Oh no! Yeah. They're really protecting us by blurring out this image.
You know, they don't want to freak you out. You know, because this thing could be that AI manufacturing UFO plant, whatever.
Sure. Because because the whole world and life thing doesn't freak me out enough already.
Let's see. I was lucky enough to take screenshot. Oh, and this is like a base though. They scrubbed this out recently also.
Yeah, this is really interesting to me.
Yeah, someone took a screenshot of it before it went away. So it's right off our coast. What's this? What's Point Mugu? Is this?
I don't know geography.
Oxnard. California. Okay, so this is Southern California.
Perfect.
All right. So Google recently just scrubbed this, but this guy took a video of it before scrubbing it. So
now, Google Earth is not the most reliable thing, but this is still super interesting.
Yeah, and it definitely looks like an entrance. See, it looks like for a navy, like a naval thing.
This very much looks like a base.
Yeah. But our base, right?
Yeah. I would say this is human made.
Right. Yeah, me too. because it's just so close to it. I mean, yeah, I mean, even the Nazis, the Germans had submarines that went underground. So yeah, not surprising. So that's Google scrubbing things. That was a thing last week. And then also we had the 27-year anniversary of the Phoenix Lights. It
Oh,
happened
the
in March.
Phoenix Lights are so. I absolutely love the Phoenix Lights story.
Me too.
Not the basketball team, the women's basketball team. The actual Phoenix Lights are such a cool thing. So many people saw this.
Wait. They called the women's basketball team
The Phoenix Lights. Yes. Yeah.
That's just going to mess with the search algorithm. Of course,
That's the
that's
whole
what they
point,
did.
dude.
Oh my God, man.
So for people who don't know, and I might be mixing this up with the one that happened in New York, but there was a night where this huge UFO was over Phoenix, and it was shaped like a boomerang, and it had tons of
Yep.
lights on it.
Yep.
This happened also, like I said, also happened in New York. Very, very interesting. And it's not just like one or two people saw this. I mean, thousands of people saw this.
Oh yeah, and they took images of it and videos of it, and even
the governor, didn't the governor
yes.
governor of Arizona came out and said he saw it.
He made fun of it first, right? He said,
right.
And he apologized for that. He did that because he wanted to diffuse the situation. There was lots of fear, so he brought a guy in wearing an alien costume, right?
Yeah, it was super offensive
So
to all you aliens out there. Also, if you're an alien and you want to talk to us, hit us up on Twitter.
Hit us up, yeah, please. Hit us up on Twitter
or X, whatever the hell it's called.
Or just land on my balcony, you know.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's meet in person.
Yeah, I'm so for it. I'm not scared anymore. It's okay. I'm open to the experience. You know.
Yeah, I'll see you in Dulce, bud.
Oh my God! Don't say that. So they had a 12 News. Oh, NBC covered it in Phoenix, and is it a long clip? Oh, 9:30. Yeah, it might be kind of long. We don't have to hear the whole thing.
Yeah,
don't give us
play a little bit of it.
All right, don't give us any ads from the archives. Phoenix Lights.
Bright lights in a V shape, maybe a massive ship miles wide, right over Phoenix. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people saw them on March 13th, 1997.
Look at that. There's another one.
They're lined up in a pattern.
24 years later,
I got 4 of them.
We still don't know what the Phoenix Lights were.
Major sighting here.
But now a lot more people are taking them and other unidentified flying objects more seriously. Dr. Lynn Kitai watched the Phoenix Lights arrive. She's one of the few people with photographs of them. And for years, she stayed quiet, afraid of being branded crazy.
Now that the military and the government have actually come forward to say, yes, we are studying them. The Pentagon has been studying them.
In the last year and a half, there have been some massive bombshells in the UFO community. For starters, the U.S. government says they're real, and they were researching them.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
Like these videos from the U.S. Navy. After they were leaked, the U.S. military confirmed they were real.
This is not a joke. This is real. Something. Even though I don't know what they are, I just want to know who they are, who's driving these things.
For years, there was this stigma. These were the people with crazy beliefs. These were conspiracy theorists. Now, it seems that they were the people who were right.
Nick Pope led the British government's version of the X-Files.
Yeah.
Investigated UFO sightings for the Ministry of Defense in the early 90s. Something the U.S. government claimed for decades it didn't do.
The official position of the United States government was, we have not had a UFO program since the end of 1969 when Project Blue Book was terminated. And nobody is interested in this. I choose my words carefully, but perhaps we were not being told the entire picture.
We were
But in
lied
reality, a
to.
handful of military groups have been investigating UFO sightings since 2007 and may still be doing it today.
Way before
I think people's
2007.
perception
Yeah.
of UFOs has changed fundamentally, and this whole subject has come out of the fringe and into the mainstream.
That's what we need, more credible voices coming forward.
Like the Phoenix Lights, tons of regular people saw them. Most had no special training. But a private pilot also reported them to the FAA that night. The pilot who reported the sighting, actor Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Number for that.
I didn't know this.
The two tangos.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Hopefully,
didn't know Kurt Russell saw the Phoenix Lights.
he did. He was in his plane flying with his wife, I think.
I didn't even know he was a pilot.
Yeah. I mean, wait, doesn't he live? He lives in Montana, right?
No, does he?
Yeah, I think he does. Oh wait,
I don't know much about the actor Kurt Russell. I know he's married to Goldie Hawn.
So they do live in Montana. I think, yeah, they do.
Well,
So-
he's doing a better job than Harrison Ford because that guy cannot keep a plane up in the air. Have you looked into this? He's had like 3 airplane crashes.
Yeah, I remember. I think we talked about this a while ago. It's so funny. Like he plays someone that can fly in space, but he can't even fly like a turboprop.
What's going on?
So yeah, he saw it. He saw when he was flying. So from above, he saw them.
Kidding. I didn't.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't know this part.
Very cool.
The Sierra, and I was the pilot.
No way. He stayed silent for years, only coming forward on British TV in 2017.
We're maybe a half a mile out. Oliver said, "Pa, what are those lights?" And I then it kind of like came out of my reverie, and I said, "I don't know what they are." I said, he said, "Are we okay here?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call him," and I reported it.
And as recently as February, when an American Airlines pilot reported seeing something fly over his plane over New Mexico.
I hate to say this looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
American Airlines confirmed the sighting and said the FBI is investigating.
Some people can't deal with this topic. Some people don't want to. And that's okay. Everyone in their own time.
Because of all this, Kitai and other UFO believers say it's time for more people to take it seriously. They say something's up there, and they want to know what it is. William Pitts, 12 News.
People were seeing these lights that either...
Very cool. She's cool. So it's crazy how it took so long for her to come forward. Kurt Russell, he only came out in 2017. Imagine.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get it because up until now, you were completely ridiculed and your life was ruined if you mentioned seeing a UFO and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's what AARO tried to do, but they're trying to put the genie back in the bottle. And that's it. It's not going to happen. It's finished. It's over. I mean, especially in this day and age, it's not in the 60s, you guys. It's not the 50s. They tried to copy the Condon report and the Robertson panel report. It's not that anymore, guys. We have literally like the Library of Alexandria in our palms for now. And, and social media and, people are going to look into like what other people think about the report. They're not going to just take the report or take what NBC and CBS say and their titles and go, "Oh, all right." I mean, some people might and just say, "Oh, there's nothing there. All right, it's all fake."
Yeah,
those days are over.
Yeah, no. I mean, wasn't there a poll about what the trust in the media is nowadays? I mean, most people they just don't trust the story anymore, the message
at all.
At all, not even a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why is that why they invited 5 people from the media? It's because they're not going to push back, they're not going to ask, they're just going to go along with it,
Right.
And people know when they're being lied to. People know, we're not robots, or we're not just like these things. These, we are intelligent beings. We are spiritual beings. Most of us have like sixth sense. We know when people are lying to us, whether even on the phone, if someone talking to you, you can sense someone's lying to you. You don't have to look at their facial expressions. You know what I mean? And even on paper, we can do that.
Yeah, we're not the 5-year-olds being told that Santa is real, that the government would like to think we are.
Exactly. No, we're not. Just quickly with this one, it leaked out last week. It was so now apparently, the government. This document is the Defense Technical Information Center. Cataclysmic polarity shift is U.S. national security prepared for the next geomagnetic pole reversal.
So I think I commented something really snarky back to you. I said they've been talking about this for 10 years. Do they have a date as to when that's supposed to happen?
Oh, I mean, if you look at the science is out there now, but it happens every 12,000 years. So we are due for one within the next 30, 40 years. It becomes more like right now, I think it's a 20% chance or something. And then in 10 years, it'll be a 30% chance. In 20 years, it'll be a 50% chance, like that.
Okay.
So we're due for it. This was publication date was 2015.
I mean, and this would be. I mean, it says it in the title, catastrophic. I mean, this truly would if the poles shift. Yeah, I mean, this would be really scary. This would be really fun apocalypse event.
Yeah, it would be a civilization ender, you know, unless you're underground. Unless you're underground, I think you
right.
might.
And hey, aren't all those billionaires building bunkers underground for some reason?
They are. Yeah, they are. And you know, if our geomagnetics is being ruined, that's what's changing the climate. Also, it's letting in more sun, which is heating up the planet. You know, as that's the real climate change. But they'll never say that. They'll just blame us. It's your fault.
Right.
You know?
All these rich billionaires flying on their private jets, which cause, you know, more greenhouse gases. You know, it's just, and these big corporations and countries that we're not allowed to talk about that are causing all this trouble to the climate. But it's us, the people, you and me, going to work in our regular cars. We're the problem.
Yep, and for using your stove and taking hot showers. You have to take cold showers. What are you doing taking hot showers? How dare you?
Now this is really, really fun, and I like this a lot. Okay, so CERN. Here's the title of the post. CERN created the Large Hadron Collider because the Mayan calendar was right and the world was going to end in 2012. CERN was able to create a mini black hole or Big Bang, and we shifted timelines before it happened. It's why the Mandela effect, the Mandela effect exists. Those quote unquote memories are from our previous timeline. So there is a lot to talk about in here.
Look at it, not necessarily because of the Mayan calendar. I realize that represents this is new, I think, because I realize that represents something different. But to avoid something catastrophic in general, or just to F everything, who knows? Just something I've been thinking about. I mean, many people have said the Mandela effect. They've linked it back to CERN.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone knows what the Mandela effect is. But basically, it's when you have all these memories of something that you know to be true. And then when you are looking it up now, it's not right. The whole thing was a lot of people have memories of Nelson Mandela dying in prison, which we know in this world to not be true.
Right. Exactly.
That's where the name comes from. But
and
a lot
then, you know, what's the other things like Jiffy or Jiff, right, or something? Or
Berenstain Bears is a big one. People
Yeah.
can't agree on how the Berenstain Bears were spelled.
Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom, right? Did it have the basket behind it or not?
Or not? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's stuff like that.
The movie Shazam with
right. I never had a problem with the movie Shazam.
Okay.
It always starred Shaq in my head, but a lot of people remember it being
but that was another movie, right? The Shaq one. It was a different
shoot. Am I misremembering my weird?
Oh my god, now I'm confused. See, this is what happens in the Mandela effect.
Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff, and I think we've even talked about it on the show. CERN is absolutely bizarre. I mean, they've had rituals outside of their offices. They had a guy who claimed he was from the future trying to stop CERN running around outside. I mean,
even the John Teeter time traveler thing was CERN. Well, he predicted what CERN would do before it started. He goes, because he was doing this, he was on the internet before it was put online, and he said that, you know, CERN. He goes, soon CERN is going to find mini black holes or create mini black holes. So yeah, it's intertwined with all this time travel stuff. And what's this guy saying here? He goes, Op, have you researched the Guardians of the Looking Glass? I remember. He goes, the story involves CERN 2012-2030 timelines and a bunch of info related to your post. Apparently, these Guardians are a group of retired military who worked on black ops projects in the 90s and early 2000s. One of the main projects they were involved with was the Looking Glass. Oh, Looking Glass. Okay, I know that one, which is some sort of ancient Sumerian technology that allows people to view different timelines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
I mean, I'm still not sold on the Mandela effect. I mean,
it could be just memories, right?
Going back to the Berenstain Bears thing, I've seen people who have a version of both books where it's Berenstein with EIN and Berenstain with AIN, and it's in the
Okay.
same hands. So whoever the publisher is did a bad job of checking themselves. I can't explain the whole Mandela dying in prison thing. I think I was too young to really know about what was going on with apartheid in South Africa at the time.
Right. I mean, yeah,
The
I don't
whole-
remember. I never had that thing with Mandela. So I mean, but some people have.
Right.
Yeah.
There's enough people that had it that
Yeah.
it has a whole name. So apparently other people think about it. Oh,
it's
I think I said
Collier.
aliens from Andromeda told U.S. Army personnel the origin of humanity. 155 billion humans live in other galaxies closest to us. Now,
Man,
this
overpopulating the galaxy.
what else do we do?
Yeah, this is Alex Collier. I think we have covered him before. He's an army guy, right?
Yeah.
And he went on, I think, for 2 months or 3 months. He met with 2 Andromedans. Where is it? Where's the time? Alex Collier, considered to be credible. He was a helicopter pilot, U.S. Army. Oh, the contact resumed in 1985. He met with 2 Andromedans, Vicious and Morine, who became his mentors, and took him on board their space vehicles. There you go, including a large extraterrestrial mothership, where he was exposed to the teachings of the Andromedans over 3 months.
All right. So one thing I want to say really quick is that something that we've talked about with COVID and scientists and stuff like that. People who say insane, crazy things often turn out to be right. Well, not often. They sometimes turn out to
Many
be right.
times, yeah, a lot of times.
But yeah. So I don't necessarily believe this story, but maybe I'm in the wrong camp,
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastical, what he's talking about, but it does coincide with a lot of the stories we've been hearing over the decades, from a long time ago, and it has to do with like humans. Like, okay, fine, they're not from Earth, but they're still humans. They take a human form. They look very human. This form that we're in just might be the preferred form in the universe for intelligent life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what people always have issues with that.
Something that we've talked about on the show before is that aliens view us as like a zoo, essentially. And why wouldn't you have zoos on multiple planets?
Right. Yeah.
And that goes into, are we, created by these aliens and what for and yada, yada, yada. We don't have to get into it.
And in this natural world and in different planets, if you want something to take care of the planet, that's also in touch with nature, you would need something like us, I would think, that can till the soil, that can, that has empathy towards other animals, that understands dynamics and engineering of water. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you'd want to take care of planets for you if you're a higher intelligence. I mean, even higher than us. So it'll be like us creating androids.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a really good example, actually.
So Palladians comes up a lot. So he talks about Palladians too. But I mean, the Palladians, I first heard of them was from the Swiss guy, Billy Meyer. He always talked about the Palladians, but a human species. So I mean, maybe he read a lot of Billy Meyer.
Yeah.
So yeah, our readers, I mean, our listeners can go read this. We have, when we play this video, how long is it? This is him. But I mean, it is crazy they came out to just say this, that they just took him. Like, why do they choose people? That's what people always have questions. Why do they just choose? But it's been that way for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah, there's always someone, he's the prophet or not, and they get killed or not, or they get believed, or they become messiahs. So I don't know. It's been happening forever to our species.
Regardless, it's a fun story. I recommend our listeners go ahead and read this one.
And speaking about us creating technology, which we're just amazing at, did you see this? So now we're creating these we're 3D printing metallic structures.
I did not see this. It's very phallic.
Look how it's made though.
Yeah, phallic.
Metal 3D printer integrated with a CNC machine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it can add or remove metal parts. Oh, it can remove too, but it's making a globe here, or a
Yeah, I can
sphere.
see that.
Perfect sphere. Can they fly though?
Just give it some time.
High powered lasers. So yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, if we're doing this, is it crazy to think about that something else is 3D printing UFOs?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Oh, so it's both a CNC. So CNC just goes around, and then this thing just does layer by layer.
Yeah, that's wild stuff. Because as far as I knew, 3D printing was all like whatever that plastic thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Plastic. So this is printing metals. Oh, we'll have 3D guns here pretty soon.
Yeah, you're right. Good luck stopping that.
Yeah.
That's like an engine part. That's so nuts.
Is that what that is? I was like trying to figure out what the hell that would be used for.
And then what's this? Oh, large complex 3D shapes. I mean, yeah, that's like it can do I-beams probably, but I don't know how strong the metal would be.
Yeah, that's actually my question is how durable and strong the metal is.
So yeah, this is for the turbine industry. So for engines, turbine engines.
Right.
Just like that, no molds, nothing. I don't know how long this would take though. Yeah, this is another.
Yeah, I mean we're watching sped up footage, so I am curious to know how long something like this would take, and if it's. But here's the thing, even if it takes a long time now, give it 5-10 years, it'll be super, like way faster.
Yeah. So they're making. It looks like they're making naval propeller engines. Even repair metal parts. He's just doing it inside the computer, and then it just does it. Cracked or damaged. Look at that. So that's good for space travel too.
Yeah, definitely.
If these things get small enough. All right, cool. And then yeah, you saw this one. I think everyone saw this one. Maybe not, but it's the robot that talks.
This actually kind of freaked me out. I'll be honest.
And why does he have to have a voice like that?
Right. That's kind of the problem that I had with it.
Like, have a normal voice. He sounds like the iRobot voice, right?
Yep.
On purpose. It's everything. They have to just always mess with us. Oh, of course. I have to learn. I can't. Yeah, I have to learn. I can't blow up and expand the screen.
You know what?
Playing it first. I have to play and then expand.
You know what's really been pissing me off lately? Is I watch a lot of YouTube on my phone, right? And of course you have to deal with ads playing before or in the middle of your. But now YouTube is doing this really fun thing where they put an ad on top of the ad. So like you're watching a video and then the ad pops up and it's an ad for, I don't know, Expedia. And then there's this little pop-up that comes on for Expedia, and you have to close out of that, and you have to, and then but here's the thing, once you close out of the little pop-up, another pop-up comes up and you have to X out of that. And like, I don't know.
They have enough ads. Like I see a lot of people saying that too, that YouTube is just unwatchable now.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's terrible.
I mean, that must mean that they need more money, or it's just shareholders saying we need more profit.
Well, yeah, I mean, have you seen
$1 is not enough?
Have you seen their stupid, what's the YouTube Gold or whatever the hell it's called? It's like $25 a month or something insane.
Well, I pay premium for $9.99. I get no ads. Well, I mean that's the reading ads, but none of the pop-up ones.
Oh man, I'm sorry, dude.
I know I had to because it was driving me nuts.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so let's watch this.
Yeah,
film speed is 1 time, so it's not sped up, nothing. So let's watch this. Status of what? I just right, so
we waited too long. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So it has to, while it's playing, it has to be. Yeah, here we go. All right. Then do this. All right. Come on, X. Powered by OpenAI. I like OpenAI.
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Took too long.
Yeah, I
Fail.
think so too.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
That's pretty crazy. What's he doing? Oh, just one plate.
All right. So, how do you think you did?
I think I did pretty well. The apple found its new owner, the trash is gone, and the tableware is right where it belongs.
I agree. Thanks, Figure One.
You're welcome. If there's anything else you need help with, just let me know.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
First of all, they use the wrong voice. You always use an Australian female voice for these things. Just like
Australian female voice.
That's what my Siri has.
That's
But
hilarious. What's that? Oh man, I forget her name now. Not Minogue. Is it Minogue? No.
what are you talking
Australian-
about?
Never mind.
Okay.
All right.
No, but that
yeah.
that really freaks me out. This really freaks me out too.
I mean, yeah, and they're saying it's for drones, and it could be right. Maybe it is for drones. It could be because now all these rogue countries have drones and they're using them. So this is a declassified video shows Dragonfire laser weapon in action.
I mean, this is the stuff that used to be science fiction. Now it's science fact. It's lasers
Yeah.
shooting up into the sky.
Yep, Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, very much.
So
Very
from
much so.
1977 is when Star Wars came out. So I mean, how prophetic can that guy be?
Right.
In a new declassified video, the UK's £100 million or $127 million Dragonfire laser weapon can be seen going through its paces as it blasted test bench and field targets, including drones and mortar rounds. Where's the video though?
Wasn't that it right there?
This?
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah, I want to see this thing in action. Oh,
Jesus Christ, so dramatic. Just show us the stupid thing.
all right, that's in the lab. Oh, here we go. All right, arming it. Oh, they just choose targets. There it is. Ooh, damn.
But you can't actually see the lasers, right?
No, that's why it was filmed in, I think, infrared. So there it is. So, oh no, this is a 3D. Animation.
So this is hypothetically how it'd be used.
Yeah. So they'll probably track objects and then just shoot a laser at them.
Right.
From a boat. Oh, and what? And from space. It came from down too. Did you see that? So it wasn't.
Oh,
just...
I thought it was the other way around. I thought that was it was going from the boat, not to
That's
the
what I
boat.
thought too. Look.
Yeah. Wow.
Smoke's coming out.
Great.
I mean, the boat's not up that high, is it? Could be.
I don't know, but I mean, if they have this technology for boats, I mean, why wouldn't they use it from space?
Yeah, I was thinking though, like now they can just make these things out of mirrors. I mean, wouldn't that just deflect it?
But isn't the laser like about heat and stuff? I don't know anything about lasers.
Oh, me neither. Me neither.
I'm sure that'll be part of the evolutionary arms race.
Yeah.
Mirrors and stuff like that. I mean, hell,
Right.
they made what's that bomber that's supposed to be you can't detect it using radar because it's all
B-51 and
yeah, that's
F-117.
all it's got all the weird angles on it. I'm sure it'll be the same thing.
Oh, the F-117, the weird angles one, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of lasers, Earth received a laser beam from 10 million miles away in NASA tests. I mean, there's nothing new about this. I mean, I've been in telecom. They've and in telecom they use lasers, right? Point to point. The problem is like it can't go through. If it's raining, it's not good. Fog is not good either. So any vapor is not good. So I don't know how they're doing that. I guess space doesn't have anything, but
Well, no, there's space dust. I mean, there's like
yeah.
rocks and ice and stuff.
So it's a worldwide web across the galaxy. NASA recently demonstrated a key piece of tech that could help beaming messages via laser across a distance of almost 16 million kilometers or 10 million miles. That's about 40 times farther than the moon is from the Earth, and the accomplishment achieved in November 2023. Now, it's still going the speed of light, because we use
Yeah.
microwaves now for that, and radios, which are the speed of light too. But I think it's the bandwidth. It's not kilobits per second. It's megabits or gigabits per second. So yeah, here you go. High definition video now you could do.
Wow.
From Mars. That is pretty cool.
Interesting. Imagine.
The test, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the test was part of of NASA's deep space optical communications experiment. That is cool though.
So the top of the article says, hold on, go back up because I think I misread it. No. The title of the article.
Oh.
No, Earth. Oh, okay. So received a message from like the satellite or whatever they were testing.
Right, from far away, yeah.
I thought it was saying we received a message from like deep space or something. Supposedly from like a UFO or aliens or something.
Oh no, this is NASA building out a deep space optical communications network.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, and this is a video. JPL, of course. They're
Of
not
course.
bad. I mean, it was started by an occultist, but still, and they scrub a lot of. They used to scrub. Well, they used to scrub a lot of the Mars and Moon images. I don't know if they're still involved with that.
Well, NASA scrubs a lot of stuff. They don't let the general public know that their program is built by a Nazi.
Psyche. It's called Psyche. It's scheduled for a flyby around Mars.
I think it's Psych, right?
Oh, it's Psych. Yeah, Psych. It's scheduled for a flyby around Mars, and so tests will continue to be carried out to refine and improve this innovative near-infrared laser communication method. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I generally like the work that NASA does. I wish they would speed things up and kind of expand their horizons a little bit, but that's just me.
I know things just take so. I mean, I'm gonna be like 80 by the time anything ever happens.
I know, man. It's so sad. Like everyone's talking about being the first on Mars, and it's just like, okay, stop taking your time. Like, let's do this.
But it would be cool, like HD video. Imagine going around Mars with HD video, or Jupiter, or Saturn.
We can't even get HD videos of the moon.
I know. Yeah, let's start there first.
But sorry, I'm still stuck on this thought. Can you imagine if we sent some long laser data thing out into space, and we're like, "Hey, what's out there?" And the message we got back was like, "New satellite. Who dis?"
Who dis? And it could be. I mean, people have recorded like all these laser beams coming down. It could be that too.
Well, and what was the WOW signal? That was a radio, I believe.
70s. Yeah, 1970s.
Yeah.
It was a big spike and then it was gone.
Yeah, super interesting stuff.
This was a fun find. Muckrock.com. So they teach you how to file FOIA for free. Tips and tricks to make you a transparency master. So for those of you that are Black Vault fans, and if you have because anyone can really ask the government for a FOIA. So if you have something in mind that you want or any questions answered from the government, or you can file a FOIA request.
I want to know what Trump's hair is made out of.
You think the government knows? Yeah, probably everyone has an FBI file. Maybe you can ask the FBI.
Yeah.
So I thought this was cool. It's for
No,
free.
it's really cool.
Because it is a very difficult thing to really understand how to do FOIA, anything that has to do with government bureaucracy. So
Yeah, tell me about it.
they're on doing that. There's also this.
Yeah, you sent this to me, and I'm not really. I don't know. I think this is so. Like I, messaged you. There was all these monoliths that appeared around the world. God,
Arizona was the last one, I think, or Utah.
I don't know, but it was like
Utah was one here
about a decade ago, and it turned out to be some artist trying to, I don't know, do something. Who knows what artists are up
Really?
to?
Because the one in Utah, I remember, was like in the middle of nowhere. Like, how
Right.
did they
Well,
get
that
these
was the
things,
whole
like-
point.
Oh, this is the one from Utah, I think. It has to be. It's not Wales, is it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Including
but
this one from on the Isle of Wight is another one.
But all of this is just inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying. Yeah, it's nothing alien or anything like that.
Yeah.
They do just show up, out of nowhere, right?
And it is interesting, like trying to figure out the logistics of it. Like, you don't carry that onto a plane, So I'm assuming you have to go to the place and then construct it, but you have to get the raw materials for it. I don't know. It's cool, and we're talking about it, so I guess that's the point of art, right?
That's the point. Yeah. And then you shared this with me. Montana man 80 pleads guilty to creating giant mutant hybrid bighorns. Look at these. Are these them?
I have no idea. I don't know what a mutant giant bighorn looks like. I know what a bighorn looks like. Those look like normal bighorns to me.
Yes, I wonder if that's
just a completely off the wall wild story.
A Montana man, 80-year-old.
Like being a kid into Jurassic Park. 80-year-old Montana man. Oh man, that is
federal charges. Oh, come on, man.
Why? For what? I don't understand what the charges are for.
It's doing your own thing.
Because I think he was selling something that wasn't advertised or something like that.
By using genetic material harvested from Asiatic wild sheep. All right. So wait, but what did he get? What did he get? Okay, wait.
Pleaded guilty to 2 felony wildlife charges: conspiracy to violate whatever the Lacey Act is, and also for violating. Why wasn't it say conspiracy to violate the Lacey Act and also violating the Lacey Act?
So the Lacey Act of 1900 is a conservation law in the United States that prohibits trade in wildlife, fish, and plants that have been illegally taken. Illegally means you haven't paid the government for it.
Right.
That's all it means. Yeah, money. You haven't paid the government.
Unbelievable.
The Lacey Act prohibits, here we go, interstate wildlife that has been taken, possessed, transferred, or sold in violation of federal or state law.
But that doesn't say anything.
No, it just means you didn't tell them and get a license. That's all it means.
Just unbelievable how ridiculous our government is. But
pornography.
What the hell? That's a word I've never heard until today. Pornography?
It's the science of studying how horny things get.
Pornography in its truest form. He's just saying that's pornography in its truest form. It doesn't explain it.
So
I don't understand how any of this is a crime, really.
They just need to justify their budget. I think they just find like these people who are doing innovative, cool stuff that freedom allows you to do, and they can't stand. That's not that they can't stand that. They need to just prove that they need a budget and their existence. You know what I mean? So they go after people who are like that, who do things like this, who are innovative.
Hold on. An exotic or hybrid species escaping and causing genetic "quote unquote" spillover by attempting to breed with native wildlife could be a disaster.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
spillover would have ramification regardless whether they were successful or not.
I don't understand. Look at that thing.
Look at it. What's wrong with that? It's beautiful. He probably sped up evolution. Look at this guy behind him. He's like, yeah. Wait, is that a real
He,
thing?
he looks like shit. What's that movie about those teenagers fighting off the Russians in Colorado?
What?
Wolverines.
Wolverines?
Come on, man. You know this movie. Red Dawn.
Oh, Red Dawn. Oh, yeah.
The
Of
guy in the
course.
back looks like one of the
Yeah,
Red
yeah.
Dawn.
Of course. Yeah.
One of the guys from Red Dawn. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
All right, that's pretty wild, man. I mean, I get it, kind of. If you know, if they don't want this,
I honestly
but
don't.
spillover. I mean, I thought these guys. I mean, that's how they get their chicks. Come on, man. You know, it's good for them. Look at this thing. Like he'll beat his opponents, and he will continue his seed.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it. I just thought it was a funny article to send you, but then looking into it and thinking about it, I don't understand our government at all.
It's so stupid, dude. Like, all these agencies, I understand, but what they all come from a good place, and I think the reason why our founders did not want this was for a reason, because they know where it ends up. They know how they understood humanity. They came out of a tyrannical system, an empire that they did not want for this country and for us, and we've become just that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like a natural. I mean, what are we supposed to do as a species? What? I don't get it.
The bigger question is, how did I yell Wolverines and you did not know that was from Red Dawn?
I don't know. It didn't click.
All right. This one is actually super interesting to me. Man who spent record 100 days underwater claims it de-aged him 20 years and gives proof. And
he's in his 50s.
May shock you.
Yeah, he spent 100 days underwater, claims the experience de-aged him, and even shares proof. All right, so he's a doctor. 2023, so this just happened.
Challenge himself to spend 100 days in a habitat located 30 feet under a Florida lagoon. Yeah, I found this interesting because we talk about aliens coming from the ocean and stuff like that, and if that's where they're located, it's the very interesting concept to me.
Yeah, and he goes, when he emerged from his underwater mission last June, Dr. Dituri claimed that blood tests showed a 50% reduction in every inflammatory marker in his body. He claimed a lot of areas of his health improved following the 100-day mission, including longer telomeres, structures on chromosomes that are often linked to extending life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually, it's kind of interesting. Telomeres, I'm not a scientist. Well, I'm kind of a scientist, not this kind of scientist.
Right.
Telomeres, if I remember correctly, that's actually why we age and die, is because they get shorter and shorter, or they age or something. So that's linked to our aging process.
Right.
I think.
No, you're right. And what he's saying here now, we have our age, and then we have our biological age, right? You can take tests for this. So he's saying here he's 56 now. My extrinsic biological age was 44. When I got out of the water, my extrinsic age was 34. And you can take tests for this, and they'll tell you, well, your body is like a 34-year-old, 30-year-old, whatever, even though you might be like 40. So he does what? Not now. Dr. Dituri claims that his telomeres are not as long as they were when he first came out in June, but they are longer than they were before he embarked on his research.
So maybe I had it backwards. Still, I mean,
so the longer they are, the better. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I was saying they were, because I don't know a thing about telomeres. I was saying they get shorter and shorter, and then you get older, but I guess it's the other way around.
So high pressure, hyperbaric environment. I remember, didn't Michael Jackson used to sleep in a hyperbaric environment?
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I wonder if the hyperbaric environment it's more about that than it is the living underwater thing.
Yeah, because they have these things, don't they? Don't they have these? You can actually go, and they're like spas.
Yeah.
Diving in a fluid or by entering dry pressurized environments. Yeah, I remember this was a thing a while back. Anyway, really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely likes taking pictures.
Well, his beard didn't get any less gray, so I'm calling bullshit on this whole article.
Yeah, and he didn't grow any more new hairs either.
No.
Anyway, good for him. You know, he's a
Yeah.
scientist. He's trying to. Is what we want scientists to do. Real science.
Yeah, of course. You know, that picture. So when you first sent this to
This
me,
one?
yeah,
Yeah.
when you first sent this to me, I thought he like got in a car accident where he ended up underwater because that's the second.
Oh my
picture
god, that'd be a great
looks like
story.
he's
That's a
trapped
great-
in a car or something. But no, this is very interesting stuff.
You should write that down as like a scene, as something. You know, just
I
keep it there.
actually, maybe I'll tell you on the show, maybe I won't, but I had a great idea. Well, I had a dream that I really want to turn into a movie that I think would be a good movie.
Ooh, all right, nice. Those are always the best dreams. I mean,
It's really
those are always the best movies because a movie is a dream anyway, or it's a collective dream.
There you go.
This is talking about some scientists doing real science. This is the Greenpeace co-founder Dr. Patrick Moore video about CO2 and the climate change.
One of my missions is to turn on its head the idea that carbon dioxide is a pollutant and somehow dangerous, when in fact it is the most important nutrient for all life on Earth, and without it, this would be a dead planet. So I say not only is carbon dioxide good, it is essential, and it's a good thing that we are putting some more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Because it was running low before we came along. If we had definitive proof that CO2 was causing serious problems and we could prove it, don't you think they would write that down on a piece of paper somewhere so people could read it? They don't have definitive proof, period, in science. I'm a student of the philosophy and history of science, and I know that the scientific method has not been applied in such a way as to prove that carbon dioxide is causing the Earth to warm.
You think in a few years, say 50 years from now, people go, that was a really stupid period in our history when we tried to change all our energy policies to cut this gas?
It always is.
I'm firmly of the belief that the future will show that this whole hysteria over climate change was a complete fabrication.
Oh, man.
I'm torn. I do believe climate change is happening. I
Yeah,
don't
of course
I
it is.
don't believe it's CO2 related.
Right.
But I just don't want to come outright and say climate change isn't happening.
No, we're not saying that. We're not saying that. It's just not
Yeah.
CO2. You know, it just makes it easier for them, and then it blames us, and then it gives power to other people so they can make money off of it, and so they can tax us, and all that bullshit. It's all about money and power. You know,
Always. It's always about money and power.
yeah, and that's what we're trying to raise awareness of, and screw these politicians, all of them. They don't
Every
care
last-
about you. They don't care about the planet.
Nope.
All they want is money and power, and to extract more wealth from you, and to extract more wealth from nations.
Thank you. That was perfect. Because
So,
it's true.
Yeah. Now that TikTok ban, I don't know, it doesn't have anything really to do with this, but it kind of
Well,
does.
okay, so it kind of does because did you see? Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and play this video. I don't
Ian?
want to.
There's Ian.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of stuff I wasn't sure that I wanted to talk about.
But
Did you see
that's who's doing it.
Did you see the quotes coming out from the guy who's saying we're losing TikTok, we're losing social media, we need to do something about it? See that?
Who? Shapiro?
I won't say who it is.
Oh.
Because I'm afraid we'll both get black bagged and our families. Well, I won't say any more than that.
Well, he's a great researcher, Ian Carroll. He really is an amazing researcher, and he's blatantly saying, he goes, Israel is trying to buy TikTok. Now, this whole thing that's happening in the Middle East with Israel, just genociding a concentration camp or bombing a concentration camp, calling it a war. And on TikTok, and the ADL came out with Greenblatt, a leaked audio of him came out saying
That's
that
what I was
they're
talking
losing.
about.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, we might get it. I mean, but he came out saying that we're losing Gen Z, and that this is an existential threat, and that we need to fix this now. And he's been going around pushing this bill, and it passed in 3 days in Congress. It's the most tyrannical thing since the Patriot Act. They're saying it's just trying to get China out of TikTok, but it's not. It's not what it is. It's not. And
yeah, I mean the percentage, the percentage of congressmen on Congress people on both sides was like what, like 81%. Like it was an insanely high percentage of people that voted yes on this bill.
Yeah, and maybe we should play this because Massey is just he's being a politician, saying there's other ways we could do this, and he's right, but it's just there's no sunset clause in this thing, and what's in there, the president can deem any website a threat and shut it down.
Yep,
it's not
including
just
our
TikTok.
podcast.
Including our podcast, yes. If we're telling too much truth or steering people a different way, they can just shut it down. I mean, that's Soviet era stuff.
Yeah, I mean, literally
It's
fascism.
not a free country, man. It really isn't.
No, it hasn't been for a while now.
All right, maybe not watch the whole thing, but
sure,
there's some great information in here.
It was about to go until I fell in. So bear with me here. And before the AI censors me, the country Israel is not trying to buy it. It's people with really deep ties to Israel. This lead came from Whitney Webb, the patron saint of independent journalism. And it starts here with Steve Mnuchin, who just announced that he's putting together investors to buy TikTok. But wait, Ian,
But wait, before that. So basically, a group forced the federal government to force TikTok to be sold or get out of the country. And now the same people that forced the federal government to do that are trying to buy TikTok. So they're going to take all the profits and steer and change the mind of Gen Z shape the mind of Gen Z where it's to their benefit, not against them.
God.
But they're not powerful. They have no power.
No, of course not.
That's a trope.
Steve Mnuchin was the U.S. Treasury Secretary. He's not Israel, right? Well, let's peel this onion back one layer at a time, starting with just the fact that he's Jewish, just par for the course. And don't worry, we're going to get all the way to Mossad here in a second. But it's important that you know that Mnuchin had a long, illustrious career at Goldman Sachs and hedge funds. He was a key member of the Trump campaign. And among his many ties to questionable people in finance, he's buddies with Michael Milken, who's famous for being one of the richest and most evil scumbags in the history of the last century of finance. Michael Milken revolutionized the art of stealing from the poor and getting really rich by manipulating financial markets. And in the interest of shitting on Trump and Biden when credit is due, Trump pardoned him right before he left office. So anyways, Mnuchin has long been a huge supporter of Israel. He's been talking about how it's time to invest in Israel again after October 7th. And he recently traveled to Israel with his business partner, David Friedman.
Yeah, they need
David
more money.
Friedman is the United States ambassador to Israel for the Trump campaign. He has a long relationship with Trump going back to 1994, where he was his lawyer representing the Trump organization. And he's not like just Jewish. He's like born to a family of rabbis and went to Hebrew Academy. You know what I mean? And they were trying to recruit the ex-head of Mossad to join their investment fund. But from what I can tell, it didn't pan out, or he got recruited to a different banking enterprise. But that's the kind of person that they want on their team. We're specifically referring to Yossi Cohen, the former director of Mossad. And a bunch of news outlets seemed to pick up on it and were reporting on it when they were just in talks and nothing was confirmed yet. And maybe it heated up too much and they decided maybe not a good look. But one venture that our buddies Mnuchin and Friedman have invested in with their fund called Liberty Strategic Capital is this.
I love how it's called Liberty. Liberty for who? It's for them. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Not liberty for the country. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into this. Yeah, the algorithms will probably kill us. And we're getting up to the 2 hours here. We still have we're almost there. So
okay. All right.
But this just goes in line with what our government is doing, taking our rights away, passing all these crazy laws. So the U.S. spent more than double what it collected in February, as 2024 deficit is second highest ever, and debt explodes.
And then, the media is going to try and tell you that, the economy is better than ever and all this other bullshit.
Look at that. Look at that. What's that over the years since 20? Look at that. This is our debt. Federal government receipts. Okay, that's receipts. And then federal government spending, and then here it is. So this is during COVID. That was the first one. Now we're at the second one. We have no emergency, do we? Like, where's this money going?
Well, I have a couple ideas as to where it's going.
Here it is. Here's our debt. Look at that. $34 trillion in debt.
Just
and it
keep
gets
spending.
worse. Just keep spending.
You know what they say is when you dig yourself into a hole, just keep digging. Just keep digging.
Oh, look, this is really bad. Our interests, and it gets even worse because we are now in the Ponzi finance stage of the Minsky cycle with total interest on the debt annualized well over $1 trillion and rising every day, having already surpassed the total U.S. defense spending. So we're spending more on interest than we're spending on our defense. Soon to surpass total health spending and finally all Social Security spending, the largest spending category of all, which means that U.S. debt will now rise exponentially higher until the inevitable moment when the U.S. dollar loses its reserve status and it all comes crashing down.
Yeah, we're in dire straits, man. I don't know what.
Well, I know where we're headed. We're headed here.
Yeah. I cannot wait for the show, by the way.
I know that I've lived a relatively
Yeah, me neither. Especially that's Nolan. I mean, I like Nolan because he goes pretty deep.
Well, he's brothers with Christopher Nolan. You know that,
yes.
right?
Yeah, that's his brother. Yeah.
But God, you got to play these games.
I will.
Man.
I probably do it tonight. I rebought it, so I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
It was only $19.99. I think because they want you to buy the expansion packs, right?
Which one you bought? Fallout 4, right?
4, yeah, that's what I bought.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good place. I mean, I think
that's
it's
all they had on PlayStation. It was that one or another old one from PS3, I think, and the graphics look terrible.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like the one I mentioned to you, New Vegas. I mean, you're not going to get blown away by the graphics or anything. It's just a better
gameplay.
Game. Yeah. But Fallout 4 is good. I like it a lot.
Plus, of course, 33. Of course, 33.
Well, of course.
Yeah. All right, let's play this. It's pretty cool, actually. I'm really excited about it, and it's got humor in it. It's got gore in it. It's got floating aircraft carriers.
Oh man.
You need to go home. Vault dwellers are an endangered species. I do not think
that's a rad roach.
You'd be willing to do what it takes to survive up here. If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
And 3 2-day shipping.
I love this song.
Unless I see
Tomorrow, so they say, will be a lovely day. A bright new sun will suddenly break through. But I don't want to see tomorrow unless I see it with you.
So wait, what's this all about? Is the Cyclops in there? Is that in the game, or did they just
So,
put this in?
it's not in any of the games I've played. I mean, this is clearly in the vault still.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm assuming there's something going on. So I told you last episode that all of the vaults have like some sort of test going on, right? Some sort of experiment. I'm assuming this is part of the experiment. Like they gave some people one eye or something. I have no idea. I'm completely
because I would think you get mutated if you're up on the surface,
right,
not in the vault.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, unless you're in a specific vault that wants mutation, it's a whole thing, man.
Oh, okay.
And grab the moldy one.
Oh my god,
Where
wait
do
to
we
get
live
out.
in LA?
All this predictive programming of blowing up LA.
Oh, you gotta play the games, man. I gotta talk to it about somebody. I gotta talk to somebody about it. Is what I meant to say. Oh,
So, speaking of, the world going into
yeah, you sent me this.
Holocaust. I mean, Houthis obtained a hypersonic missile. I mean, we don't even have one. I mean, does Iran have one? I don't even remember. Or I guess it's Russia or China have one, right? Maybe Iran got one.
Well, I'm sure, just like the Cold War, it was supplied to them by the US or Russia or even China at this point.
Right. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. They definitely didn't make it by themselves. But it's just crazy. I mean, we're just inching closer and closer because, let's be honest, Israel is not just going to take it. They have nuclear weapons for a reason. So if they get backed in the corner, just like how Israel, just how Russia's saying, if we're ever threatened, it's going to be end of civilization. The same thing is going to happen with Israel. I just wish they just do peace. Just stop this, or it's going to destroy the planet.
What's the name of their plan where they take everyone down with them?
Samson option.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah. It's an official policy, and I think Herschel, what's his name now? Damn it, I can't believe it. Yeah, whenever this mic is in front of me, I just forget names.
Every time, man, I'm telling you.
So yeah, he's a famous author. He's the one who told us about anyway, so he wrote a book about it called The Samson Option. So it's a real thing. All right, we're pretty much done. We have some last things. We have some recommendations. The recommended channel. He's called Gene Ward. He goes through anomalies from the Mars anomalies. Like he finds pyramids. He finds like tools on the ground, stuff like that. Like this video, he goes through like some pyramids he found on Mars. So really cool. He talks about Brandenburg, obviously, who found out that there was a nuke exploded on Mars. If not multiple of them.
I still remember when the face was first seen, and then remember the face on Mars?
Yeah. And then they scrubbed it.
Mm-hmm. Completely scrubbed it.
Yeah, too bad. But yeah, look at all these things he has. So definitely go check him out.
Definitely.
What's this rover? Object zooms past rover. I didn't even see this one. He's got some really fun stuff in there. He's from New Zealand.
Located to the left. Action camera on Sol 3613.
Whoa.
We can see the object located to the left.
Whoa.
And then 12 seconds later, the right navigation camera photographed this area again. And the anomaly doesn't appear in the photograph.
It's a lens
my
flare.
opinion as to what this might
that's
be.
clear. This is Mars, right? I mean, that's clearly a bird. This is a bird.
It
Or a
looks
balloon.
like
It's a balloon.
the front part.
It's
traveling
swamp gas
a little
from Venus.
slower.
And really cool. He can really go down the rabbit hole with this guy.
Cool.
He tells you what the picture numbers are and all that. And then, all right. And then we have Danny Sheehan from 1995. This is funny. All right. Obviously not gonna play the whole thing. Just this clip here, I thought was really funny about how he became a lawyer,
Right.
what he went through. Okay, and he's so funny, man. Everyone's cracking up here. He's really funny. I love this guy.
And that the artificiality of that is so hard to maintain.
He's talking about war.
If in fact one just gets out each night and watches the stars come into our lives, and to realize what's really true instead of this artificial reality. And it was just an exercise that I would do each night. And as I moved on through that process of growing up, I was just not buying the sub-reality structures. I just couldn't get excited about the idea of going and killing other people to protect our country, to make our country the most powerful and dominant force in the world. I couldn't quite grok why that was such a big deal, why we should be doing that. And it was very clear to me that what I wanted to do was to participate in getting to establish communication or communion with these other beings, because it was so clear to me that that was important for us as a people to know about and to experience, because it was so important to me to experience. Yet whenever I would start talking with anybody about it, I would get this very peculiar reaction. The people would all just go, right, right. It was all pre-drugs, right?
Pre-drugs.
And so it was funny. I had decided, I was trying to figure out what the best way of spending one's life was that would facilitate getting to talk about that and getting to get people to understand this and to facilitate the communication with these beings. At first I thought I was going to be an astronomer. And I said, well, you know, I get to be an astronomer and I'd get to do all this. And, well, you had to just look through these telescopes and then you should mainly take pictures and then analyze pictures. And I said, that wasn't very exciting. And finally it dawned on me that the way to do it was to be an astronaut. I could be an astronaut and I get to go out there and get to try to get to talk with them and get to try to meet them. And so I went upon this path of becoming an astronaut and did all the stuff, you know, I learned what I was supposed to learn and had to study all the special stuff in school. And I applied to the Air Force Academy, that I was going to be an Air Force officer and be a pilot and be an astronaut. And I eventually was #1 in the competition for the appointment from our congressman in northern New York, where I grew up. And so I thought this was great. And so I got to be the #1 candidate in our congressional district. And fortunately, I ended up being the #1 candidate in the state of New York. So much to my surprise, I got to go talk to the senators as well as the congressman about going and getting the appointment, because they give 2 senatorial appointments for New York. So I went down and Kenneth Keating was going to be interviewing me on behalf of Kenneth Keating and Jacob Javits. And Kenneth Keating said to me, well, Mr. Sheehan, why do you want to go to the Air Force Academy? And I said, well, here I was sitting here at this United States Senator's office, you know, and I said, well, I'd better be honest. That's always the best policy, be completely honest, not realizing what politicians really were at that point. And so I said, well, I want to be a pilot to learn to fly because I want to be an astronaut. And he said, well, why do you want to be an astronaut? And I said, because I want to be part of getting to meet the extraterrestrial civilizations. And there was this big, long silence. Kenneth Keating gave me this strange look. And he actually did. He actually said, what? So I got to say it twice. So I said, I want to be an astronaut so that I can participate in getting to meet the extraterrestrial beings. And he was still kind of looking at me funny, so I figured I better explain a little further. I said, so we can find out all the stuff that they have learned. I said that some of them may be millions of years in advance of us with their technology and their spirituality. And as I kept on going, I wasn't quite sure whether I was helping my cause any. Well, and I'm still not certain. I'm still not certain, because his reaction was he became totally disarmed. And he said, well, Danny, he said, look, I wouldn't have normally told you this, he said, but I've already committed for political reasons to have to give the appointment, the senatorial appointment, to someone else. He said, but you're #1 in the congressional district. He said, you're #1 in the state. He said, so you go back and you can get the appointment to the Air Force Academy from your congressman. But he said, look, if you want, I'll give you the appointment to the United States Naval Academy. He said, you can become an astronaut by being a Navy pilot and stuff like that. I said, boats. I said, I'm not into boats. I said, I'm into airplanes. I want to fly. I want to fly airplanes. and get to be an astronaut. I said, but I don't want to have to spend 4 years doing boats. And he said, he said, but he said, I just want to make it clear to you. He said, I'll give you the appointment to the Naval Academy if you want it, and you can be an astronaut through that. But he said, I'm sure that you go back to the congressional district in Carlton King, will give you the appointment. And so I said, yeah, I'll do that. So I went back and went to meet with Carlton King, and Carlton King gave the appointment to the kid who was number 7 in the congressional competition.
Of course.
Who turns out to have been the son of the mayor of Glens Falls.
Saw that one coming.
I was flabbergasted. I was completely flabbergasted. I couldn't believe that all the promises that we'd been made, all the things that we've been told about our government, about how it worked and how if you work really hard and you achieve everything that you can get to do what you want, I was flabbergasted. And I said, I'll have to become a lawyer. I'll have to become a lawyer to work for a while to make the system work. Because this is outrageous that somebody could put that kind of short-term, narrow-minded political self-interest over and above my getting to meet with the extraterrestrial people. I couldn't believe that.
That's good stuff, man. It's just, yeah.
And it ties it all in. And now we see him today, and he's that lawyer, and he's, he didn't just do UFOs, right? I mean, he did Iran Contra. So he's a good guy. Really funny, man. I thought that was just gold. And they create the monster by doing that, and now he's after them. He's the one. He's got gloves off, and he's doing all within the legal system. And
he better get him too.
Yeah, they better get him. So the UAP Disclosure Act was all him, and I'm glad that's now back in there. And I think he represented Greer during disclosure, even Elizondo, I think also. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, yeah, and then so yeah, this is hilarious. I've never seen this before.
So do you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I used to, yeah. I just never continued. I never continued. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows because it's just about all these scumbags who are pretending to be good people.
Yeah.
And this is from really early on. This is from, I guess, season 3.
Yeah, which is when I stopped. Yeah, I stopped at the end of season 3.
It's so good. Well, it the last couple seasons have been kind of a disappointment in my book, but that's just my opinion.
It's hard to be good for that long,
Yeah, but man, are they funny!
Oh my god, this is so funny. Like I was cracking up when I watched this. All right,
give Lefty the whole Friday speech. I'm worried that
it's from 13 years ago, so maybe that's why the audio is not that good. Can you hear it fine? Can you hear it fine?
No, it's fine. Just hit play.
All right.
Dumb guy. You know what I mean? And that's like that's like one of the funniest things.
All right. No, you're probably right. All right, let's just keep it then.
Hold on. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, like to see you in his trailer.
Danny?
Yeah.
Okay. It's weird.
Your turn, bro.
My turn for what?
It's your turn to blow DeVito.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Go do it and get back here because we got tons of work to do.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Are you kidding me, Charlie? 3rd season. He does the 3rd season, we blow him. It's in the contract.
I don't read the contracts. You read that whole contract?
What do you mean you didn't read the contract? Are you kidding me, Charlie?
It's like a bunch of pages of lawyer mumbo jumbo.
Yes,
You read the contract?
Yeah, of course I read
the whole thing word for word. It's like 20 pages long.
Article 8, subsection B. At the commencement of 3rd season services for the work of Mr. DeVito, blowjobs must be performed on Mr. DeVito by all executive producers here thereof.
By all executive producers.
It's better if you don't fight it. Trust me.
Why the fuck did we ever agree to this?
We've already shot like half the 3rd season. If you don't do it, he's going to walk. Just go blow him and get back here. We have so much work to do.
Right, maybe I can talk about it.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
All right, Charlie, come on. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Look, I didn't read my contract. You know what I mean? Like, is there any way you can let it slide? Or
So what? You didn't read your contract. Don't take it out on me. Take it out on your agent. Here, lube up those lips.
Oh, my God.
Vaseline?
Yeah.
Are you
good.
serious?
Feels good. Come on.
Feels good. Come on.
Come on.
Well, hey, you're a married man, all right? Think about that, huh? Think about your wife. Think about Mrs. Rhea Perlman, right? Don't you think she's going to be pissed at you?
Think so? Ask her. What? Come on, get in.
Sit down on the toilet and do your job, you little bitch.
Charlie, be a sport.
Fred
What
Savage.
is Fred Savage doing in here? Oh, I'm just here to watch.
Go on, get over there. Come on.
Oh my god, man, that is so funny.
Dude, that show, that's such a good encapsulation of what the show is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just
It's
absolutely
beautiful.
ridiculous. But I just love Danny DeVito is just down for whatever. Like,
Seriously.
he gets naked and crawls out of a couch. Everyone knows about that scene.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he just, they get him to say and do the most ridiculous stuff.
Dude, I've never seen that before. 13 years ago.
Yeah. I agree with this guy.
Yeah, me too. Because anyway, let's hear him. I agree with him too. And you can tell he's really passionate. He's really upset about it.
Yeah.
Whoever convinced the world that Nickelback sucked, bravo. Bravo. Because what you did is possibly the greatest psyop in the history of mankind. Your meme, it made an entire generation lie. Lie to the world, to themselves, whenever they heard, never made it as a wise man, couldn't make it as a poor man stealing.
He sounds good.
We'd hear those certified slobber knocker bars, and we'd say they sucked. We didn't believe that. None of us did. And we knew it. We knew it. I fell for it. Of course. I'd get in my mom's van, turn on the radio. You're listening to WKXY. Up next, Hero by Nickelback. I'd roll my eyes. Nickelback sucks. They say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand in the way.
He's got some pipes.
Yeah.
Here. Roll down my cheek. I look out the window of my mom's 2004 Honda Odyssey.
Oh my god.
I'd watch that little dude run through obstacles that I made up. Whoever can.
Well, I think it was just what happened was at that time in music, everyone was doing the
Right.
And Nickelback, for whatever reason, got picked as like, okay,
Right.
this is the one that everyone's going to hate. That way, it'll make that whole genre of music collapse.
Yeah, exactly. Because they came at the tail end of it, and so it's not saying that they were bad. Because people would make fun of Pearl Jam when they first came out. Remember, that's what Adam Sandler was doing on SNL. He was making fun of Pearl Jam, singing Pearl Jam songs and parodies of them, and and he was the original. But yeah, that whole genre of music was doing that. But yeah, great. I mean, I remember listening to Nickelback, liking their songs, and then it's just, I don't know where it came from. It wasn't just a meme; it just took over. Like, they sucked, and then so poor guys. But I'm sure they're still making money.
I'm sure they're crying into their millions of dollars of bills.
Yeah, exactly, and they're getting it every single month. So this is the final one.
Oh, you got some Cracker Milk videos. Okay.
Yeah, this is the final one. This is hilarious, man. This is how to fix a crazy girlfriend.
Oh, this was great.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, you look really pretty today.
Oh yeah, you think so? Don't you think I look pretty every day? Are you calling me fat? You're calling me fat, aren't you? I can't believe you'd say something like that. You literally just lied to my face. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you.
What just happened? Women are crazy if you don't blow their cartridges. That seems kind of sexist. Sexist? Guys get their discs clean all the time. Disc. Can you rub it?
Oh my god.
No, I love those guys. They're
Oh, that's
great.
hilarious, man. Australians are so funny. I think, and the accent just adds an extra layer of it.
This is why my Siri has an Australian accent.
I get it. All right, so that's everything for today. Not bad.
Not bad at all. I had a great time today, cuz.
Yeah, me too. We still went over 2 hours, but I think it was just a fluke last week. We still got views. Don't get me wrong. You know, it just wasn't the great uptick. And we were talking about it earlier today, Topher and I thought it was because AARO like diffused all you guys in believing all this, or some of our listeners, but that's probably not the case. You know,
It's the algorithm. It'll get you.
it's the algorithm. I mean, yeah, I mean, definitely. We are definitely shadow banned on YouTube. That's a
Oh
sure
yeah,
thing.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
seeing the views that we get on Rumble and Spotify and stuff, and
Right,
compare
yeah.
them to YouTube, it's
Right.
absurd.
Yeah, because they're all optimized there. We have all the keywords, we have all the copy, you know what I mean? So ridiculous how they do that. So it's usually our subscribers that are subscribed to us watch it within the first day or two, and then that's it. It tapers off until like some random people search for it and watch it. So
So what's going to be the title of this episode?
let's see. I mean, and overall, let's see. We still talk. There was still like issues with the AARO thing, you know, black helicopters.
Wait, okay, I have a crazy idea.
CERN.
I
Yeah.
have a crazy idea. What if we just put "government is bad" in all caps with an exclamation point?
Just to test it. That's an A/B test. I'd like to do that.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's do that.
All
Hey,
right.
man.
So if people want to find us on social media, where should they look, Adam?
We are mostly on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are we're at UAP the podcast, and then we are also on Rumble at UAP podcast, and you can find us on YouTube at Uncovering Anomalies podcast, and on all podcasting platforms at Uncovering Anomalies podcast. So that's pretty much it. We're not on Facebook, we're not on Instagram, we're not on Twitter. I think we are personally, you know. You can also follow us on X and Twitter, our personal accounts. I'm at Breakaway Civil, and Topher is at Topher It All. So
Yeehaw.
definitely follow us there, hit us up, let us know what you think about the show, give us feedback, anything you want us to cover. We're very open to it. We've done it before.
Yeah, and once again, beautiful ladies, go ahead and slide into those DMs. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, and any aliens out there, or if you have any contact with aliens, or if you're a hybrid living on this planet, listening to the show, and you still have contact with the spaceship, tell them to come here and land on my balcony. I'm fine. I'll be totally fine with it.
My balcony is not nearly big enough for your ship, but if you want to land out in the parking lot, I'll come down and meet you.
Yeah, exactly. So that'd be a lot of fun, and it'll be fun to cover on a show too.
Absolutely. Can you imagine having a guest host and it's an alien?
Well, yeah, it'll be an exclusive, and it'll launch us to the stratosphere.
Hell
or the
yeah,
stars.
in more ways than one.
Absolutely.
All right, that is I Want to Believe Adam. I am too far, Topher. And you, of course, have been listening to the wow, Jesus. How many episodes are we in? 63 now?
63, yeah.
This has been the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, and thank you all so much for listening.
All right.